Fuck you, Barry.
Hey,
Did you like that?
I did. You found the geek spot. Look at you go.
You did find the Geek Spot. I'm Frank. That's Jack. And we're the Geek Spot News.
We are.
We are. And that's my homage to a show we'll talk about later at the beginning there.
That was good. That I feel like that's your thoughts about season 9 of The Flash,
That's my
or 8.5.
6, 7, 8, and 9.5. Yes.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, it is. Hi, Dylan. How are you? Oh boy.
All right. So
We
hey,
had
speaking of that, how was your weekend, Frank?
you know what? My youngest son, started overnight work at Giant. He's working 10 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. That was my weekend. He did his training. Today was his last day of training. He worked 5 straight days. So I was drive him to work, pick him up at 6:30 in the morning.
That sounds real enjoyable.
It was I was being a dad, and yeah. So that was my weekend. I did nothing. I nothing.
You drove. Did you watch anything? Did you caught up on anything? Did you finish Ozark yet?
Who?
That's what I thought.
No, I actually didn't watch anything old. What did I watch? Well, obviously Peacemaker. We'll talk about that. Hi, Charles. Hi to your mom. What else did I do this weekend?
I don't know. It sounds like you may have slept and driven, and that might
I
have been
did
it.
do a lot of sleeping this weekend. Wasn't a whole lot else going on this weekend here. Little video games, a lot of video games.
Okay. I figured there was something in there.
Yeah, a little Rainbow Six Extraction. Yeah, no, there's no bus that goes, and the store is like 2 miles away. And thank you. My father told me the same thing: was walk or take a bus, and that's it. What did you do this weekend?
I had a gig Friday at Tony's in Ivyland or Warminster, depending on which way you look at the map.
I worked out in Ivyland once.
Yeah, it's a fun place. But yeah, that was a good show. And then Saturday, the wife and I did some shopping for some stuff, and then I finished Arcane, the League of Legends show on Netflix.
Nice.
Highly recommend still. It's a really well done show. I don't know anything about League of Legends or the game at all. I don't know if you do.
I know what the game is.
Okay.
But I'm not into that toxicity online.
Well,
I play other toxic games.
Yeah, luckily there's none of that toxicity on the show.
Good.
But it's well crafted. The storyline moves quickly. They cover a lot of ground. There's no drag. There's no bloat in it. But great, and the animation is phenomenal.
Oh, okay.
So I highly recommend that to anybody. Also randomly started this show, Raising Dion. I guess season 2 just dropped.
Okay.
And season 1 was really, really good. Season 2's decent so far. It's a show about a single mom and her kid.
Okay.
Turns out the kid has superpowers.
Oh.
Neither one of them I really knew. She was on Shadowhunters. Michael B. Jordan is in and out of it in a lot of flashbacks and things.
Shadowhunters. That's where
and Green Arrow's from. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And the world's not the most interesting man. The Old Spice guy was in it too.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, he played a werewolf.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shadowhunters was actually a really good show. The first season was fantastic. So here's what I'm learning. All these shows in their first seasons, they're like, this is our mystery we want to tell.
Right.
Then they're done.
Right.
Then what do you do? And they try and tell the rest of the story, and you're not invested. You
mean like Lost? A little bit?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. But they kept trying to introduce new things. They just none of them stuck.
Well, no, they
after Rodrigo and Carmen or whatever their names were.
Oh, Pablo. Yeah, the problem with Lost was they introduced so much new stuff that by the
Yeah.
time they found their end game, they didn't close off most of the new stuff. We should do a Lost rewatch one day.
Nope.
Why
Nope.
not?
I'm good. I'm good.
Come
I watched
on,
it.
that's a
I
good
watched it.
one.
I'm not a
So
big
did I.
rewatcher.
I don't like to rewatch that much stuff.
But yeah, so like imagine all of the superhero origin shows you've seen though, where people discovering their powers.
Right.
Now imagine the person is 7 and you're their parent.
Oh.
Like, what would you do if your 7-year-old could move things with their mind and teleport and
I would
do
never
all
work.
and create lightning, like all sorts of crazy stuff?
I would never work again. Ever.
But had the thought process obviously of a 7-year-old. So like,
Right.
how do you react? You just want to be a superhero.
Right.
Like, what do you do?
That's pretty. It sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, really, really good show though. Primarily cast of color, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think you and I were talking about Naomi the other week.
You
Similar,
had mentioned that.
and they don't make the show about that. It's just normal, which is how it should be in shows and
Oh.
on TV in general, right? Where that's not the driving force of the show, but it touches in and out. And but I would recommend Raising Dion too. Other than that, nothing much. Watched some Walking Dead. Took the grandkids to see their grandma. My kids to see their grandma. There we go. They're her grandkids.
Yeah, you don't want grandkids yet.
No. But that was about it. Nothing too crazy so far this weekend.
I do have a show that I do really want to start watching.
Ooh.
It's not a rewatch.
Mm.
It's not exactly in our wheelhouse, but it's not a rewatch. It's a completely, it's not a new show, but I want to go and I want to watch Yellowstone because I've heard nothing but great things about Yellowstone.
Well, you have the Paramount, right?
No,
Sure.
but I have.
That's
no,
it. You got, sure.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
I can watch Yellowstone if I want.
Right.
That's,
and then you have to watch 1883, and then you'll have to watch the other spin-off.
There's another one.
There's another prequel coming out. They're going to do a lot of prequels.
Oh, no.
Is their plan. Lots of prequels.
Okay.
The one has Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Yeah, that's 1883, right?
Yeah, then there's another one they're working on. I don't know what it is, but I remember seeing there's another prequel they're working on.
Okay.
So that sounds like something you'll really enjoy. I haven't been into the cowboy thing that much, so
I'm not a huge cowboy guy. My dad would have loved this because he was a big Kevin Costner fan. And
Gotcha.
Sam Elliott's in the spinoff, right? I think 1883.
I think he's in that one with
Young
Tim
Sam
McGraw
Elliott?
and Faith Hill. No.
He has not aged. He's like Paul Rudd. He's like the other Paul Rudd.
Yeah, but he stopped aging at like 60.
Right, but back I think he was in his 50s in Roadhouse.
Probably.
And he just
that was like 40 years ago.
Right, but he looks the same for the most part now, except for the mustache.
Yeah,
he does. It's
well, his mustache can get into fights with Lil Nas X, so it's good. I didn't see that one coming, did you?
Nope.
All right. Dylan saw some stuff. Saw a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was going to go see Uncharted Sunday, and it just fell through, and I never got up off the couch, basically.
What'd you think, Dylan? Frank's a huge horror fan, so I'm sure Texas Chainsaw is on his list.
Did that come out?
Yeah, on Netflix.
Oh.
And Uncharted, I'll get there.
I may as well start with that since you brought that up. Uncharted had the highest opening for a video game movie since Sonic at 44.2 million and might clear 51 by the end of President's Day weekend. That being said, Sonic is 2 years ago.
I was going to say, so Sonic was the last movie, one of the last two,
video games.
It was definitely the last video game movie before the pandemic.
Correct. So the
only one since then, I think, was Resident Evil that may have been released in like 6 theaters.
This article said that Uncharted has notched the 4th biggest 3-day opening for a video game movie, coming behind Sonic, 2019's Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and 2001's Lara Croft Tomb Raider. So that's pretty good, but also tells you that video game movies still haven't quite got there yet, except for Sonic.
So I saw 2 of those opening weekend.
I saw Lara Croft. Wait, did I see Lara Croft? No, I played the video game. I never
Ye-
actually saw. Did I see the movie?
With Angelina Jolie? Was that the Angelina Jolie? What year
No,
was
no,
that
no, no,
one?
no. The 2001 is the
Wait, which year was the movie you said though?
2001.
That's Angelina Jolie.
Or is it?
Yes.
Hold on.
She did two. She did The Circle of Life or
Oh
Secret
yeah,
Life.
yeah, yeah.
Or,
Okay, that's the first one. I'm sorry.
uh,
That's the one with John Voight and
that was
Daniel Craig.
one.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian Glenn. Oh, that's got a cast.
Yeah, they were good movies. I did not
Yeah.
see the remake with Vic Lander.
Vic Lander. No, but she also was the voice, I believe, in the video game.
No, maybe the new one.
Yeah, the
I
new
haven't-
video game.
I
The
haven't
new
pla-
video
I-
games were great.
Yeah, I didn't play any of them.
So see, Dylan said that Uncharted was trashed by critics, which I saw. It had 38% Rotten Tomatoes by critics. See, I thought it would be enjoyable. And hello,
I'm
James.
sure it's fun. And Texas Chainsaw was great.
I did not say Brock Landers.
With the modern day gore, but story and characters were terrible. Not really a surprise. I don't know that Chainsaw has ever had a great story. It's just been Leatherface chasing dumb people around.
Yeah.
Copy
Brock
the new
Landers,
Halloween. All right.
Brock Landers was in Uncharted. He did play Sully.
Yes, because now he's too old.
Right.
But I'm still gonna have trouble seeing Uncharted. I think because Tom Holland's still just not Nathan Drake at all to me.
No, he's
and yes, I'm sure there's a little bit of a delay, Dylan, which is why it's taken us a minute and we keep jumping back to other things. But
Chest Rockwell was not in it. No.
let us know how Tom Holland was, and if you've played the games, if he was believable as Nathan Drake, because I'm intrigued to see that part.
So am I. I played the games, which
the games are fantastic.
Yes, that's one of the reasons I got a PlayStation was those games, Spider-Man, and MLB The Show,
and the Nathan Fillion movie. Like 2 years ago, the snippet that he did for Uncharted was great. I was like, this guy's Drake out, but now he's 50-something. Right. Because everything in Hollywood takes too long to do.
Right.
As we've said.
What about I lost my train of thought.
Video game characters in movies?
No.
Is that where you were going?
Yeah. I totally lost it. Tom Holland was good, but it's more Tom Holland.
Yeah. All right. I had a feeling because he still looks like he's 15.
Yes.
No matter what you do with the kid, he's still 5'4" and still Tom Holland.
Right. He's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, and I'll probably go see it soon. I might take the kids next week or something.
I want to go see it, but now my time is filled with tomorrow. It's the big release for me, video game wise. The next big chapter in the Destiny game, the Witch Queen.
So
tomorrow.
So is that a new release or is that a patch?
So it's the same game. It's Destiny 2, but it's just the next big iteration of the game. So it's the same game, and they're taking a bunch of stuff out, and they're adding a whole bunch of stuff, more story. They're changing a bunch of the mechanics around for certain things. I'm trying to be vague as possible without going into boring detail about, they're changing this that no one will understand.
Gotcha.
They did have 1 million people pre-order this game.
So that's what I was asking. So you have to buy it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's
an
what
expansion.
I was getting at.
So normally what they do is they run 3-month seasons, and every season you buy a new battle pass, and then twice a year they do a big expansion. And they usually do it in September and then at the beginning of the year. And this was supposed to be the September one, and they pushed it back because they had a lot of work to do, which most game companies don't really do the actual work to fix their games, like Cyberpunk. And they release them broken, get people angry. So tomorrow,
I don't think you can recover from that bad PR in today's world anymore, though. So I think
not as much. Well, No Man's Sky did it back in the day.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I don't think in the last 2 years, I don't think you can recover from that. There's too many options available.
Yeah, and so what'll happen is they'll take the game completely offline tonight for 12 hours while they do all the behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, that sounds like long enough for you to catch up on Legends of Tomorrow before it comes back this week.
I think I'm one back. I did watch one. I did watch.
Oh, look at you.
I watched the reality show episode, and then
Yeah, that's
the
good.
episode after that. Was there?
There's a couple episodes after
I'm
that.
one behind. Like I have
Okay,
one.
you're almost there.
Yeah.
So I believe the CW shows come back this week.
Okay. So
and we get the finale. We have 2 episodes left of Legends and Batwoman.
Okay. Batwoman, that'll be a summer thing.
You're like 2 seasons behind on that. That's fine.
Yeah, but I missed used to be able to spend the summer catching up on stuff. And
Now there's so much new stuff that comes out in the summer. You don't have time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we'll get Umbrella Academy this summer.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything on that yet.
Who knows how many Star Wars and Marvel shows will be released this summer since they haven't given us any kind of calendar.
Nope. I got nothing for that.
Obi-Wan in May. I did want to touch on for the local people what's coming up on Fan Expo though. Wizard World.
Yeah.
So we got some new announcements that made Frank a very happy man.
Yeah, happy and sad.
So well, both, right? So we got they've announced David Tennant, Doctor Who, the Purple Man from Jessica Jones too. Mr. Shatner.
Mr. Shatner.
Who's most famous, I believe, for being T.J. Hooker and the Priceline guy.
And his cover of Rocket Man.
Yes. Where his claims to fame. Ming-Na Wen's going to be there, and Carl Weathers.
Yeah, so we have a friend. Well, I don't know if you know Tony. He's the #1 Philly super fan. He always dresses like Apollo Creed, and he used to carry around a WWE belt. And he's
as a grown ass man.
Tony's a great guy.
Okay.
He's a former boxer.
Oh.
Now he has his own championship belt that he had made, but he has a full Apollo Creed costume.
Does he wear it just all the time?
Not all the time, but he's been on Philly's commercials. He's been interviewed. So he's like...
So to events he wears it?
Yes.
Okay.
So he was talking about, should I go down and see Carl Weathers with my Apollo Creed uniform? And of course I said, yes, please, and let me be there to watch this.
Ashley Eckstein, the voice of Ahsoka Tano. Michael Rooker. James Marsters.
Oh, from Smallville?
Yeah. Was in Buffy. Was in Runaways, actually. I liked him a lot in Runaways. Chris Sarandon. You know who Chris is?
Chris Sarandon.
It's Prince Humperdinck.
Yes. Okay.
From Princess Bride. Also is the voice of Jack Skellington.
Really?
Yes. We have Q from Star Trek The Next Generation.
That one actually really excites me. I like him.
We have Jonathan Frakes from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah, again.
We have Gates McFadden from Star Trek.
Yeah.
We have Brent Spiner from Star Trek.
Yeah, he's all right.
And then from Winona Earp and Schitt's Creek, there's Tim Rosen.
Got nothing for that.
And from Winona Earp and Letterkenny is Melanie Scrofano.
Now she's the sister, right?
No, she is Mrs. McMurdy.
Okay, I haven't gotten there yet then.
No, but you've seen McMurthy, right? Talks like this all the time.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, his wife comes on later on, and then she's fantastic, and that's her. We have Ron Perlman, Theo Rossi, Ryan Hurst, Little Sons of Anarchy.
All from Sons of Anarchy, yes, sir.
We got Kevin Smith and Jay Muse coming.
Yep. Jay Muse is allowed in Pennsylvania. That's good.
Little Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, Kristen Kruk.
Little expensive photograph session.
A little bit for you. Then we got Jeff Anderson, Trevor Furman, and Brian O'Halloran, all from Clerks 3 and 2.
I think that's amazing.
It's a great lineup. They just announced a couple comic creators today, including Mark Silvestri is going to be there, which is awesome. He was one of the original guys with Image Comics and drew some crazy stuff on.
That's Tony.
Oh, I've probably met Tony at some point.
You've definitely met Tony. He's made the rounds.
And he did a lot of Wolverine work and X-Men work back in the early 90s before it split off to Image.
Oh,
and
nice.
then he was one of the original guys that went over to Image Comics.
Oh, okay.
So you get all of those people are going to be here.
Yeah, that sounds like I might be broke in April.
And last but not least, so far announced Nolan North, who is big voice in animation and also the voice of.
The Ghost in Destiny, as well as Nathan Drake, as
yeah.
well as I mean, I could IMDb him and we could sit here for 10 minutes.
Easily.
Yeah.
Connor Kent in half the voices on Young Justice.
Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah. So pretty if you are in or around Philly or feel like coming to Philly, there is plenty of great stuff going on at that. That's April 8th through 10th.
I think what I would like to do now, I don't know if this is actually going to be doable, but I have the little Zoom recorder, and I would like to go and just us talk about what we're seeing. Or
yeah,
I know we're not going to be able to get any audio from anyone. I remember a couple years back, I went to Comic-Con.
Depends on what you ask him to say.
Well, that's so we went to the Comic-Con the last time it was here, and Kevin Connolly was there. Kevin Conroy, I'm sorry.
Kevin Connolly from
No, not from Entourage, no.
Eric?
He may have been, but
Big E?
No.
Or Little E?
But
Little
the voice of Batman from the animated series.
Oh,
and Danny went to get a picture with him and asked him to record a little snippet for our other show that we had at the time. And he was like, no, I make a living using my voice and I can't do that. So I guess it would maybe depend on the person you ask. Asking a guy that uses his voice as a living like that, like asking Nolan North, hey, can you record a hi, how you doing thing for my podcast? He might not do that.
No.
But asking William Shatner to do it, he's probably going to be bubbly and happy to see everyone and jump at the opportunity.
Yeah, I saw Henry Winkler in one of these a few years ago, and he had the longest line and was just in it with every single fan. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, lots of cool people coming for that, though.
No, I'm actually really looking forward to that. I want to, as soon as the tickets go on sale, I'm going to jump. Thursday, February 24th, the Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore trailer will arrive. Ooh.
Another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the newest movie. The Johnny Depp less movie?
Yeah, with Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes.
I mean, I was a huge fan of the Harry Potter movies. Watched them multiple times, even with my oldest kid. Read all the books. We had the deal: you read the book, you can watch the movie. So he burned through the books in an insanely fast amount of time.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and we're 20. Where were we? Yeah, I totally. Yeah, you just screwed me up because now I forgot where I was going.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, so I saw the first Fantastic Beast and fell asleep 3 times.
Okay.
So I didn't try the second one, and I'm not super stoked about the third one until I see the second one.
I can happily say I've never seen any of them, although I've heard they're not bad movies. But from you just saying that, they're not great movies either.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, when you're watching it, you're like, do I need this or was I good?
Right. Charles has said he's going to meet Robert Englund and National Lampoon reunion at Steel City Con. How much is Shatner charging for an autograph at Steel City Con, Charles? I'm actually curious because I have a price in my head. It's got to be over $100.
He's pricey.
Easily over $100.
He's pricey here. He's $120 here.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot.
How big of a National Lampoon reunion? Do you get to get a picture with Beverly D'Angelo, or is it like the third Rusty?
And is Chevy Chase actually going to be $100? Okay, that's not terrible, but so is Chevy Chase going to be there? Because he's an asshole.
Yeah, he was just on something last week. I want to say the morning show, Sunday morning.
I caught a blurb about that.
Yeah, he was. I watched the interview. He was something.
Well, they bring up about how he was an asshole on set, and he was just like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, well, he was an asshole the whole interview too. But just like then laughs afterwards, and you're like, oh, I don't think you're joking.
Right.
It's just really uncomfortable, and like you're just a mean human being.
The uncomfortable laugh.
Like it was like, well, why do you think? How'd you deal with the fame from Saturday Night Live? Well, I was the best one on there.
Oh yes.
Like cold.
Right.
Like nothing. No. Like I was the funniest one on there.
Right.
That's why I got famous.
Monster Mania. We have a friend that actually goes to Monster Mania over in Cherry Hill and hangs out with like she's hung out with who's the guy in The Walking Dead that I can't think of that was in Boondock Saints?
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus. She hung out with him. Like it's Jackie McBride. Well, Jackie Matthews now. I'm sorry.
She hangs out at the bar, right?
She hangs out with them
Yeah.
and hangs at the rooms, and she's got a whole big group of people that go. She's huge into that stuff. So Chevy, Beverly D'Angelo, the real Rusty, Michael Anthony Hall, Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid was in it. National Lampoon.
He means Randy Quaid. No, wait. Wait,
definitely
Randy
can't be Randy Quaid. He's not
allowed
in
the country.
States. Both daughters and Uncle Eddie's wife.
All right.
But, I mean, maybe he's made some kind of deal.
I don't know. That's exciting, though.
That's pretty cool. Skeet Ulrich was in one of my favorite season and a halves of TV shows. Jericho.
I've heard of that show.
It was actually pretty good. We should watch it again.
You should watch it again.
I will if you don't tempt me with a good time. Oh,
No,
Randy Quaid is going to go.
Yeah,
Look at that.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. The Boys, Amazon, June 3rd. First 3 episodes. Trailer should be coming in a few weeks.
Okay, and the spinoffs, is the spinoff before this? Do we know? The animated one they're doing?
So Dylan, I know we're bouncing all over the place. Dylan's going to meet Michael C. Hall, Jennifer Carpenter, James Remar, and probably Anthony Michael Hall. I mean, I've seen that movie a couple dozen times. I love it still.
All right, to be fair, they have a much better lineup at SteelCon.
What do they have?
Well, they've also got
who else?
They have the National Lampoon crew. They have Christina Ricci, who's a win.
Yeah.
John Barenthal.
Okay.
Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, okay. From Heroes.
Yeah.
And Nashville, I guess.
Sting. I don't know if you know Sting.
Sting, like the wrestler. Woo!
Yeah.
Or like Fields of Volley.
The wrestler. No, the wrestler.
Oh, okay.
Not
the mandolin Sting.
Stephen Ogg.
Stephen Ogg. Who's Stephen Ogg?
He's been in everything. Ethan Embry's going to be there. Oh, so you have 2 Rusties. That's a Rusty.
How do you spell Stephen Ogg?
OGG.
Oh.
He was Grand Theft Auto 5. He's the crazy one. He was also in Walking Dead.
Oh, crap. He's Russ. Yeah. He's
They have a pretty good crew out there too. That's exciting for you. Enjoy that, man.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. I would love to see pictures.
Yeah. All right.
What else do we have? Master Chief, Halo. The Halo series is coming out on Paramount Plus on March 24th, and Master Chief will be removing his helmet and revealing his face. They're going.
Why? Why would they do that?
Yeah. Luckily, it's kind of an alternate timeline, or not an alternate, but you know what I mean. It's set in a different. It's not set in the same universe as the video game. It's the same stuff, but set in it. They're doing their own thing. They're going to go their own way. And a movie that is near and dear to our hearts that I know you and I are going to go and see opening night, 2027, when it's finally released. Indiana Jones 5 is close to wrapping filming, according to its producer.
It may eventually come out someday.
It might come out before I'm 60. I might be the same age as Indiana Jones, as Harrison Ford now when the movie comes out.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
That's a while. I we'll see what happens when it comes out. I mean, I'm not gonna be chomping at the bit. It's not like there's gonna be spoilers for. I mean, what's Indy's old is what we're gonna get. Sorry, I wanted to look at the Monster Mania one for Philly, which has some really good people
that's in
too.
Cherry Hill, right?
Yeah. It's got James Remar going too.
Yep.
David Zayas, Junior. People. He was junior on something. Forget what he was junior.
Who?
On. David Zayas.
Oh, I have no idea.
You got Steven Dorff's going to be there.
Oh.
Ernie Hudson. Logan Kim, the podcast kid from the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
Devin Sawa, who I think is your favorite, right?
I don't know who that is.
He's from Final Destination movies.
Oh, Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, him.
Thora Birch is going to be there. Dana DiLorenzo and
Sure.
Ray Santiago from Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I know who Thora Birch is.
Derek Mears, who was Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some good people that are going to be there.
Charles mentioned, and this is the last con I'll go with, but he's going to Sci-Fi Con. That's out in Altoona,
Oh yeah, I know where that is.
and he's going to meet Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, they were at the Philly one a couple years ago. They were super fun. They did Twisted Tunes.
So
I
they
think they
have.
did I think they did Rocky 3.
Oh, really?
They read it all in the cartoon voices that they animate.
They have Sci-Fi Con has E.G. Daily. She was the voice in Rugrats, Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
Nolan North. Maurice Lamarche, who's the Brain. Rob Paulson is Pinky and Yakko, actually.
He's like everybody.
Yeah. Jess Harnell is Wacko and some Transformers, and he's in Rick and Morty.
Nice.
Jessica Darrow from Encanto. That's pretty good. And that's all I see on here right now. So that's a short little one.
Cool. And Dylan, yeah, Batman's. I think we have an episode left before Batman comes out, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
still have to get my
Next
tickets.
Thursday it comes out.
I still have to get my tickets.
I wish I was more excited for it. I can't.
So I read something as a quick little blurb, then I didn't grab it, but now that he mentioned that, Matt Reeves said that Bruce Wayne / Batman will be in every scene of the movie. So you're either going to have Bruce Wayne or you're going to have Bruce Wayne and Batman. So this whole story is told from his point of view. I don't know how
it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, I'm excited because it's Batman, and I really think Robert Pattinson's going to do a really good job. But I don't know. I do have a little blurb about that later after we get out of the few Marvel things.
All right.
That I want to. Doctor Strange 2 is rumored, and this is I don't. I like rumors about as much as I like fan art anymore. And the rumors, and I'm not going to go into all the rumors, but what they're basically saying is the cameos could make No Way Home look tame. Now, is that good or is that bad? Because is that too much bloat?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think you need it all to do a good Doctor Strange horror movie. I think the concern for me is that you end up getting away from just doing a good Doctor Strange movie.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Stewart has a quote about that movie, which I think is hilarious. Patrick Stewart said, people have been imitating my voice ever since I came on the stage 60 years ago, so I can't be held responsible for that. So he's obviously playing the Marvel line. He said, I don't look at a lot of social media, and that's mostly a time issue, but I must say, before bedtime on Sunday evening, this was from the Super Bowl, I had plenty of communications, friends and some people I hardly knew at all making a reference to, is that you? Well, of course, I was just at home waiting to watch football, so how could it have possibly been me? We'll have to wait and see. I love Patrick Stewart.
And I saw that. I also saw him say that he doesn't really have an interest in going back to the character.
He said that in the past, yes. He said that after Logan.
He said and the quote I saw was, if I hadn't done Logan, I'd probably be itching to get to it by now. But I feel like we did a really great send-off for that character.
I don't know. I think I don't think it's a matter of money for him.
Right. He doesn't need the money anymore. No. That's my thing. Like, I would rather they completely reboot and not go multiverse. Because the multiverse now, and this goes back to my constant complaint with what they try to do with the movies versus what you can do in comics. Everybody's 20 plus years older now.
Yeah.
So like, you can't get the only one that looks the same is Halle Berry. Other than that, you can't get anybody from the X-Men movies to come over.
Nope.
And expect it to work, because one, you lose out on all those stories you could tell because the actors are already aged out, and you're not going to get that many movies out of them.
No.
So, with all these things, like I've said, it's like Mahershala Ali is going to be 70 years old by the time we get a Blade movie at this rate.
So you know how a lot of people were joking that after No Way Home, that Tobey Maguire's 2002 Spider-Man becomes technically the first MCU movie, right?
Right.
So now if Patrick Stewart shows up in Doctor Strange, then 2000's X-Men actually becomes the first MCU superhero movie.
It does, but what if
Go
they
ahead.
end up finding a way to work in the star Nick, whose last name escapes me, from the Spider-Man TV series in the 70s?
I wasn't going to go that far back, but I was going to go far back and say, what if Wesley Snipes makes a cameo as Blade? That then makes Blade the first MCU movie.
Yeah, which
like you could keep going back and back.
I'm fine
and back.
stopping at Blade,
right?
Because he is the reason that Marvel survived the 90s. That movie.
This is going to come as a surprise to you, but I have never watched one of those Blade movies.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
No, not a little
bit.
bit.
The third one, I mean, you can't beat the third one. You get Jessica Biel, you got Ryan Reynolds.
That's hot Jessica Biel back then.
It was, and they was all fighting.
Yeah,
Chris Christopherson.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
They said Barry Keoghan. Keoghan? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, the dude from Eternals.
Yeah, is in as a covered Arkham prisoner. I don't think they're going to introduce him as a Joker.
I think if they were planning on it, once it leaked, they cut it.
Makes sense. And they'll save that for another one down the line, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how this one does. Like I said, it's they just released another trailer during the NBA All-Star game.
Oh, I didn't see that one yet.
It was Vengeance is the trailer. Okay. It's all Vengeance, blah, blah, blah.
Did you happen to catch the Katie Sackhoff series on Netflix, Another Life?
No.
All? Well, no. Don't worry about it because it just got canceled.
Well, it's normal. It's three. Two. Oh, it didn't make it three?
Didn't make it three. No, I just saw that before we went on. I saw.
You have a problem at Netflix if you can't make it through 3.
Yeah.
So maybe there was scheduling conflicts because if she's got to do the Bo-Katan, maybe they were like, we don't want to wait another 2 years to release your season 3.
So, James Gunn, not that I'm going to DC just yet. Well, whatever. We probably are anyway. James Gunn tweeted out on February 19th that he's posting. He tweeted some picture of a bunch of keychains, a bunch of Rick and Morty keychains. Mm-hmm. And the tweet says, forgot to post this yesterday. I was so busy trying to complete the week of filming on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with a very special guest star. They're not saying who. And they're not even teasing who. So, given what they're...
I'm betting it's Rosenbaum.
Given what both of those studios have let him do, which we'll get to in a couple of minutes, it could be anything at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's left unless he's bringing in Arnold.
I don't know who he could possibly be bringing in.
Because we're going to get the original crew back in. So, like, we're going to get your Michelle Yeoh and Michael Rosenbaum and Stallone and who is the other one? Playing Charlie 27. From Kingpin from the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
Yeah.
No,
he's dead.
Yes, he is. It was
Ving Rhames? No, not Ving Rhames. No,
it is Ving Rhames.
No, Ving Rhames is alive because he's in the Mission Impossible movie.
No, but Ving Rhames is in. He's Charlie 27.
It's the other guy that looks like him that was in Green Mile.
Yes,
that passed away. That I can't think of.
I was just thinking of large men that have been in that style movie before.
Correct.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yes, thank you.
That's who that was. And I was the comic connection with Kingpin made me be like, oh, he's in this too.
Yeah. Matt Reeves did say that he sees the potential for sequels down the line, but he's in no rush to make a second movie right now, which I guess makes sense since it took him 2 years to film this one because of the pandemic. And
2.
Was it 2 or 3?
This movie's been in the talks since Justice League came out.
It's been in talks, but he's only had it. How long has he had it?
It's got to be since 17 or 18.
Wow.
It's got to be 4 years.
It definitely, I guess, yeah. Holy shit. I didn't realize that.
And I believe he was in because they're doing stuff with his Planet of the Apes movies too.
Oh, are they?
Disney's gonna try and keep it going. They're doing
Okay.
a fourth and fifth ones. They're in talks for right now. And I don't know if he'd be coming back for that at all. But I mean, it's like I said, it's tough with like if he's not in a rush. All right, great. So now we get Robert Pattinson at 40 something as Batman.
Right.
I don't need that.
No, no, I don't. Before we go over to the spoiler part of this, a TV show that is still near and dear to my heart because it's the only large box set I own, Smallville. Tom Welling, where was he when he said this? He's talking about the animated show that they're talking about doing, that they're talking and talking and talking about doing. It was at the Fan Expo in Vancouver. And during the panel, part of his quote, which actually really makes me laugh, is, we're working on an animated series that picks up right after our Smallville season 10. And again, telling our own story and our own vision that we get Erica Durance. He goes, it might be tough to get Allison. That would be Allison Mack. But even Sam Jones III, who played Pete Ross, and Lionel Luthor is going to be a big part of that. John Glover wants to do it, and we've already been into this. They've gotten animation. They just don't have the stories yet because Al and Miles are busy doing Tim Burton-like movies. As soon as they're done with that, they're going to do Smallville. He wants to be Clark's voice. They want Erica Durance to be Lois's voice. I don't think they've kind of settled. I don't think she said yes or no yet. But that line about
Supergirl's done. She hasn't got anything going on.
She does a lot of Hallmark movies, I think.
It's fine. She can talk into a phone. She'll be all right.
She can. But that line about it might be tough to get Allison. I mean, that's the first time they've really publicly said anything about her. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's savage.
It's kind of savage, yeah.
But look, if they keep on their same path, she'll be out of jail by then. They'll be fine.
I mean,
she'll need to work.
And with that, see, that's why I think a lot of these things should be
notice we didn't see anything about them getting Justin Hartley back. If you don't get Justin Hartley back, you don't need her.
That's true. You don't.
Right? Because they're together at the end and they take off. So
yeah. I think a lot of these things should be animated.
Yes.
Not all of them, but
no, I agree. And some of the stuff they're doing in animation is just fantastic.
Like, oh God, it's night and day better than.
I know you're still behind on Young Justice, but Young Justice has been great.
A little bit. I'm
like 4 seasons.
How many seasons did I have?
4.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a couple seasons back. But no, like I said before, I always thought if they had done the Wheel of Time in an animated version as opposed to putting the actual like physical characters on the screen, you might have been able to actually do the story justice because then you don't have to worry about rushing through it because your actors are aging.
Which reminds me, did you see that?
No.
Who was the dude that went crazy?
What do you mean?
The one that was supposed to go with him but didn't?
Oh, yeah. I know the character's name.
What's his character's name?
Matt Coffin?
Yes, recast for season 2.
I know that.
We never talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yep, way back.
Like we didn't.
Yeah, because the guy they cast a guy that was in The Witcher for it.
Oh, I did. Maybe I blanked out that week.
Yeah, the guy that played it. There's no real information on why they're recasting him. He was sensational in the role.
Didn't get the little shot.
Supposedly he didn't get the shot. He deleted all his social media. He never came back from their COVID break. And that's a big reason why the final 2 episodes or the final episode is a little disjointed story-wise, because the character points that he was supposed to be part of, he's not there.
Huh.
And they had to push them off on someone else because it's integral to the story.
It's interesting. I didn't remember us talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to pay more attention when we do our show.
I do that sometimes too. Well, now with the last bit of show that we have left, instead of rushing through 30 seconds of having to fit two big major spoiler TV shows at the end, we have a little bit of breathing room to talk about this okay finale of Peacemaker. All right, I'm underselling it. It was freaking awesome.
We can. I mean, we can spend the whole time talking about James Gunn's engagement if you'd like.
We could.
Where's our little spoiler thing? Do we have spoilers?
I'm getting there. Relax. I have a nail thing.
So before we go to spoilers, even though it's spoiler time, tell a friend, drop us a line, drop us a 5-star rating on iTunes, go download the show. Frank likes to see the numbers go up.
I do.
As they download the show, because we're really good at putting the podcast up every single week.
We're 1 week behind.
Yeah, that's what I said. We're really good at putting it up every week, and appreciate you guys dropping a listen and getting the word out. Thanks.
45 minutes and 40 seconds is where you want to stop and not hear the Peacemaker finale spoilers.
Yeah.
And then come back. What did you think? This is the part where you were teasing that we might actually agree on something. We kind of agreed on Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But
it's nice to agree in a good way on something.
That this was
fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, the show continued every episode to hit humor, emotional points, action, gore. Like, it covered whatever you're a fan of. Yeah. There was something for you in Peacemaker. So every episode had something for you no matter what you did.
So we were kind of wondering, I know we had said last week, I said that I had read that James Gunn was kind of bouncing around the set for the finale, giddy and giggling that, oh my God, I can't believe they're letting me do this. And we didn't really, I mean, I didn't see the very, very end coming in any way, shape, or form. Like, that was completely like I didn't look anything up. So that was a complete like, holy shit moment, partially because they didn't have everyone. But did you think it was for the 4 cameos at the end? Well, technically 2. Or did you think it was for all the obscene blood and gore and body parts flying all over the screen?
I thought it was just that huge fight scene where it was just and it was a DC show, but they were chopping arms off and they were flying, and then when Danielle Brooks came in at the end to come save the day, her fight scene was amazing.
Yep.
I mean, just going all in for it. It was fantastic. And the cameo, look, we're already in spoilers, so we can talk about the cameo. Let's get that out of the way, right?
Yes. Do you know that the Marvel crew that's filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the crew that filmed those cameos for DC?
I did, but did you know by the same point?
Yep.
DC filmed some stuff for Marvel.
Correct.
For which one was the one they filmed?
Guardians. Wasn't it?
Oh, it was the screen test.
Mm-hmm.
For Mern, for Guardians, DC filmed while they were doing Peacemaker.
Right.
And then I don't know what Ezra Miller was doing there. That's weird.
I don't know. Wait, in this finale?
No, what he was doing on the Guardians set. God, I hope he's not in Guardians.
Maybe he's the secret. Maybe he's the secret Guardian.
Maybe. So there was an issue of a comic book called Quasar. Years ago, where it was the fastest men alive, and they did this, and it was all of the speedsters in Marvel.
Oh.
And they raced, and Quasar had these light bands that created things. He was an Avenger at the time, and it was him racing against like the Wizard and Quicksilver, and Makari, and like all these other super speedsters from Marvel. And then out of nowhere, somebody pops up and beats all of them. And it's a dude with like blonde beard that's long and yellow boots with little Mercury lightning wings on the sides in Marvel. And that guy pops in for a second and then pops back out.
They didn't actually use the name?
No. And it was set up by the whole challenge was through like a celestial, like one of the types that they keep doing in Guardians, like Ego was and like those. So I think that would be hilarious. They would never pull it off, but I would give that for why Ezra would be there.
I hope not.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman and Superman were pretty lame.
Well, yeah. So apparently, there's a couple of different things about that. Um, they went to Jason Momoa ahead of time. Well, James Gunn did and said, "Hey, look," and pardon language, but I already did that at the beginning of the show anyway. But basically, James Gunn said, "Hey, we're basically going to say that Aquaman fucks fish." And they were afraid that Momoa wasn't going to be happy with it. But he basically said, we were doing it regardless of him being happy or not. But he laughed and he loved it, which obviously he's that type of person that would get into that. The Wonder Woman and the Superman cameos were horrible because obviously they weren't the actors.
But did you even expect that when she was like, call the
No.
Justice League, call whoever?
Right. You didn't expect that at all. The interplay between the Ezra Miller Flash and Jason Momoa and Peacemaker was hilarious because you completely didn't see that coming.
And what's even crazier is they weren't there. The only person that was there was John Cena.
Oh, they weren't there?
No.
Oh, see, I didn't look into it even more. I thought they were
because
actually...
there's no way they were all there if it was filmed on the Guardians set.
Good point.
I mean, unless it was stand-ins were there, but Jason Momoa wasn't there.
That's a good point.
So that was all CG. So that was just John Cena telling two random guys.
Right. So I saw two conflicting things. That one, Batman, there's actually there's a Twitter picture of the guy that was dressed in the Batman suit, in Ben Affleck's Batman suit, that was supposed to be there, that got cut.
Right.
And the Ray Fisher cyborg got cut. But I don't think you're ever going to see the Ray Fisher cyborg in anything but Justice League reruns ever again anyway.
Yeah.
He went at them again earlier this month. Warner Brothers, I believe it was Warner Brothers, tweeted out something about Black History Month. And
he went again. I know he went on Martin Luther King's birthday. He went after the Batgirl.
That, and he did something for Black History Month. Warner Brothers tweeted something out about that in support of it or in honor of it or something. And Ray Fisher replied right back on it. And why they haven't blocked him yet, I have no idea.
Yeah. So
that aside,
James Gunn said, look, we weren't allowed to use those two members.
Right.
He's like, the script went all the way up to the highest level of Warner Brothers, and they said, hey, you can do it, but you can't use these two. I mean, it makes sense because, like you said, Ray Fisher's a little touchy of a subject.
Well,
but the Batman is out in a week.
The Batman, well, not just that, but James Gunn said, when he was talking to Variety about it, he said, I don't know what I can. There are reasons for it, but I'm actually uncertain whether I can say what those reasons are. It might have to do with future stuff in regards to Batman. So timeline-wise, this is before Barry does his Flashpoint thing.
Maybe.
Supposedly.
Well, but that might be why Batman's not there.
Correct.
Because it might be after.
Right.
And those are going to be the four characters that are still there.
It's supposed to be an accidental, massive DC multiverse tease, which might be just them covering themselves, saying they couldn't use them.
Because the skewed part in this, right, is obviously it's after the original Suicide Squad.
Correct.
Which had Batman in it.
Right.
But it's 4 years in, and the Justice League, it sounds like, was around before Peacemaker went to jail.
Right.
So, yeah. So it's very skewed as to when is what. And unless he's in the Justice League, I don't understand why, like, Green Arrow's famous.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, a lot of the meta jokes, the problem once you brought in the Justice League is half the meta jokes that he made don't work.
Right.
Because there is zero odds that I buy that Ben Affleck's Batman has encountered Batmite.
Yeah.
Or that in that Zack Snyder verse that Matter Eater Lad has come back in time and hung out.
They made a lot of weird DC characters canon, like Batmite, Kite Man.
Who's fantastic on the Harley Quinn series. So funny.
Speaking of Green Arrow, so in the one episode,
It was this one. It was the finale.
Was it the finale when he talked about him?
They talked about him when they were in the woods.
In the woods, because he said he dresses like the back half of Twilight Sparkle
At
with
cons.
a 4-inch wide butthole drilled in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Amell tweeted back.
Well, people asked Stephen Amell. They said, "Hey, what do you think about?"
Yeah, and he tweeted back, "Hadn't seen it. Too busy showing Cena what professional wrestling should actually look like on TV." Hilarious.
Yeah, it's a shame he's not because nobody has stars.
Yeah, I think I stopped at episode 2. It was dragging too much.
That's not a surprise.
It just wasn't that good to me, and I like him.
And you like wrestling.
And I like wrestling. It's yeah. I thought it was just top to bottom one of the best like Boba Fett. Look, that's what you could have done.
Right. Well, and look, Star Wars is going to take itself more seriously, but I mean, just the fact that James Gunn went for it with every single person, and I'm so glad that they recast Freddie Stroma as Vigilante.
He was phenomenal. I don't think there was a weak character in this cast.
No, and even I mean, and congrats to James Gunn and Jennifer Holland for getting engaged. Yesterday or 2 days ago, but even she wrote, she's like, we didn't know what Harcourt's character arc was going to be.
Right.
We didn't know she'd be there at the end because that's not how James writes.
Right.
She's like, he just goes and here's where I start and we'll see where it ends up. And but what do you so what did you think of the cow and the end scenes there and the human missile?
So he said something earlier in the show that using that helmet would break every bone in your body, right?
Yeah.
She used that helmet at a bio,
yeah,
right? And she's fine. She didn't break every bone in her body. She hit the wall first.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't seem to go well for her.
No, but she got it back up and she was fine. Is she a metahuman?
I saw that article. I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense.
Well, maybe it goes back to that story of Killer Shark is Amanda Waller's son, and
oh god, I think they debunked that officially.
It was metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. So it got picked up for a season 2.
It did, which is awesome.
And James Gunn is going to write and direct every episode of season 2.
He seems to, after Guardians, now that he's done TV, he's like, this is great. Well, I want to do this.
Yeah, because they let him do whatever the hell he wants on HBO.
And how much better does this show you when you let one guy that knows what he's doing show run, write, and direct?
Yeah.
And you get a singular vision as opposed to, let's say, the Book of Boba Fett, where you have Favreau, who wrote, I think, every episode. Rodriguez, I think, directed 2, but was the showrunner.
Right.
And then you have Filoni that hopped in and directed 1 and wrote a few. And you get all these conflicting points of view and what they want to do. And instead with this, you get just James Gunn like, here's where we're going. Here's what we're doing. I didn't need the romantic link between him and Harcourt.
No,
like that I didn't need.
It was. I mean, it was out there, but it wasn't like they didn't put that at the fore. They didn't CW it.
No, and I mean they hinted at it. I mean from the very beginning.
Sure.
But I would have rather that not happen, and I don't need that as a subplot in season 2.
Right. I don't want to see that explored.
Yeah, that's my concern. Like I don't need that piece of the relationship piece. Keep it just fun. Romances doesn't need to be there because they're all sociopaths. Like you don't need to have romance.
No.
Not a single one of them is not a mass murderer. So you know what I mean? So
No,
what do you think though about one Goff still being alive?
I was actually going to ask you that exact same question.
I'm sneaky. I'm quick.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what do you think's going on with his dad?
So I think that I don't think the butterfly is going to die.
There's no
But I
more
don't know
food.
how it's going to survive because he used the last bit of food to dribble it on the floor on the step.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, unless there's, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly thought that the butterfly was going to get inside Harcourt at that one point.
It's it.
Um,
That was great with
it
Danielle Brooks.
was no, it was
Go
great.
ahead.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. They don't have any more food for it.
Right. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how they play that off. But what do you think about it looks like we'll probably get more Robert Patrick season 2.
Yeah, I don't know how that. I mean, unless he's just like a vision, you know what I mean? Like
So
he's in his
in
head the whole time.
so in the comics, Peacemaker has his dad is a ghost that follows him around,
Okay,
and he has to
okay.
deal with this constant berating from his father all
I
the
mean,
time as he tries to overcome like his dad being dead. His dad's then still in his head, in his ear all the time, like telling him how worthless he is and this and that, and that's more stuff that Peacemaker has to overcome all the time. Dylan said he thought it was better than all the Marvel Disney Plus series so far.
I mean,
It's tight.
it's
I
very
I,
tight.
I really enjoyed Hawkeye.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's definitely better than WandaVision, which I really, really liked.
Loki's
It's
not even in the running.
it's light years ahead of Loki. Um,
I would agree with that. Honestly, I did like this better than Hawkeye.
I'm kind of neck and neck with this in Hawkeye. I mean, this might edge it out a little bit.
Look, opening credits alone, it passes Hawkeye.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, look, I'd listen to Wigwam all day.
I've listened. That song's on my playlist now. On my big thing of playlist.
And
Um,
yeah, and it's I did you so I didn't realize that they did that opening sequence all together all at once. I didn't realize that was in one shot.
oh yeah, yeah. That's not.
I thought there was edits in it because of Judo Master popping in and out of everything.
Right.
I didn't realize that was all in real time.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, and Dylan's right. James Gunn made us like the most hated character from Suicide Squad.
He was that the reaction to him in Suicide Squad?
I hated him in Suicide Squad. Well, I mean,
Really?
like, okay,
Oh, because
I
he was
liked him as
hated
a
because he killed Rick
character.
Flag.
Right. I liked him as a character, but at the same time, I hated him as a character. You know, like.
I was confused by that. But yeah, Dylan, you're right. I mean,
What do you
only
think?
caveat to that is any movie Pete Davidson is in, he is instantly my most hated character.
Oh, he's Kanye West's most hated character too.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. That we don't need to talk about.
No, we don't need to go there.
Stalking your ex though, that's weird.
Yeah, that whole thing's weird.
So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed how flawed of a character he was, period, in Suicide Squad. And I did see James Gunn said today in an interview what moment he ended up deciding to do a Peacemaker spinoff.
Which was that?
So when in Suicide Squad, when he's getting ready to shoot Ratcatcher too,
Okay.
they zoomed in on his face, and James Gunn said, and the turn in his eye that I saw, where he went to this, like, I don't want to do it, and just the emotion he captured in his face.
Right.
He was like, this guy can really act, and this character has a lot more we can do with where is that pathos coming from. That you make this guy whose whole thing is I kill everybody, to why would he have a problem killing this girl, and where does that come from? And he's like, and that I had the concept for the show in my head, and I was ready to go.
I mean,
which is great to be in a position where you can get that idea and be like, I'm going to go write this. You guys are going to film it. Okay, great. Let's do it.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, like, look, he was one of the top people in the WWE for years, for over a decade, you know, and that's acting in a way, right?
Yeah.
And not all the not all the wrestlers translate over to actors. Obviously, there's been a lot that have tried, and a lot of failures.
no, and one of the best tweets I saw was somebody posted, I don't understand this show. There's all these scenes with nobody in the rooms. The title character hasn't even been on the show yet. I don't get the point of it. It's almost like he's invisible and you can't see him.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I saw a lot of those you can't see him posts. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was great.
Do you think Cena's the cameo in Guardians?
It could be.
I mean, Cena would be the perfect Hercules for Marvel. Perfect.
It could be. I mean,
because he has the build and the humor that he can pull off that hubris.
Yeah.
Because Hercules in Marvel is the most egotistical douchebag you've ever seen.
I mean, yeah, that would be a good casting.
That would be phenomenal. And you give him the beard and let him do some longer hair so it doesn't seem like the same guy. That'd be great.
I'm all in for it.
But Dylan, I agree. I'm glad Marvel never cast Cena as Cable, and or Shazam in DC. I do go back to my point though. I'm still concerned about the fact that Cable is going to be like a 60-year-old dude that's got to get super ripped if they ever make a new Deadpool movie.
Who would be Cable?
The same guy that's Cable now, Josh.
Oh wait, that's right. Duh.
Right.
Sorry.
Who was already old last time they did it. I mean, not old. He was like probably like 51 or 52 when they did the last movie.
Well, he's 54 now, so
yeah. So he was pushing 50 when they did the last one.
Yeah.
That was what, 9 years ago, the last Deadpool movie?
The Deadpool movie that he was in was 2018, actually.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
It's 4 years ago. That's a really long time.
That's not 9.
The entire good Star Wars trilogy was made and released in that amount of time.
That's true. Hey, we're getting another Star Wars movie, so don't hate. We're getting 10. We're getting 10. Supposedly, it's going to focus on the new Jedi Order.
Didn't we already get 10? I feel like that was Rogue Squadron.
3, 6, 9. No.
Rogue One, not Rogue Squadron. No.
I mean, technically, I guess. So this would be 11.
There was even a Skywalker in that one.
There was a Skywalker in that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this would be 11, focused on Rey, building the new Jedi Order. Are you all in?
I'm out.
Yeah?
I don't need it. I don't need anybody from the new movies.
I will go watch that movie with you and JJ.
It sounds great.
It sounds like a fun time.
Oh, and Peacemaker, I mean, to your point, Dylan, the scene at the end when they go, why is his beard colored like that?
Yeah.
And Steve G just breaks down and is like, it's because he didn't think anybody noticed, and he doesn't have any friends, and he thought nobody cared, and then all of a sudden, this guy just made fun of him every day for it. And then you get him back. That was fantastic acting there. And the fact that the dude, busted his leg and still pushed through to crawl across the field to be there at the end and help out. And then he's back in Bel Rev. So, I mean, it's who knows what happens at Bel Rev now. And if they keep letting, did they make a second Suicide Squad movie too?
I mean, I think they'll let him do whatever the hell he wants.
Do you get? Yeah, but and after the success of Peacemaker, if you throw Peacemaker in a Suicide Squad movie, how much does that do at the box office? Like all the monies?
And then I guess with the press conference that she had, basically revealing all about Task Force X. How does that? And
that's happened before in the comics, so that happens every couple years in the comics.
Well, sure.
Which is ironic because they did just announce that Suicide Squad, the current run, is ending in May.
Interesting.
In the comics, which
and
means
the video game's coming out eventually.
Oh yeah, versus the Justice League, that got pushed, right?
Yeah, that got pushed too. But to head towards the end here, in less than 50 days, the Lego Skywalker saga comes out.
It's just one new game, right?
This is one new game that will be the entire Skywalker saga in Legos.
Right, but they already released 8 of them.
They've released each Star Wars game in the Lego games. and now this is going to be basically the whole thing. Every playable Lego.
Right.
I love the Lego games. The Lego games are
They're a
just
blast.
a ton of fun.
Yeah. Their
They're
DC Villains one was great.
Yo, I love that. I played that. I beat the Batman one, or beat the Justice League one. I got it all free on Xbox one day.
All 3 Batman ones are good.
Yeah, they are.
I actually almost 100%ed the
I did.
Batman Future one.
I 100%ed that, and I almost 100%ed the villain one. Just because I went achievement hunting on it.
There was a few too many Batmite missions on the
yeah, it
Batman
wasn't
Beyond
easy. One. It wasn't easy. And the story didn't actually suck.
No, and you get to be like Booster Gold, and you can play as like
Yeah.
all the, it was good. That one was great.
That one I spent about a month 100% in that.
Yeah.
Like doing every tiny little thing.
So we'll keep our eyes peeled for stuff for next episode when we got the Batman coming out next week. So
yeah, hopefully I get to go see it. I got a lot of Destiny to play, so
yeah. Well, priorities. So
That's
you know,
true.
as always, thanks everybody for finding the Geek Spot with us, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
Yeah, I want to hear all about these cons that everybody's going to.
Yeah, maybe we'll stop by some of these too.
I would love to. All right, bye everybody. Hi Pete. Bye Pete. Try one more time, Pete. You'll get it.